Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, your glorious capybara is here. The beta's out for Robin and Aventurine. This is first impressions, right? First impressions, understand that. I'll probably make a video after this one, maybe like tomorrow, a couple days after, who knows, when I have a better understanding of these kits and I can form a better opinion on them, right? And also, don't expect beta gameplay for a bit. It's usually delayed in comparison to when the kits first drop, right? So I want to cover Robin first, since, well, it's Robin. She got the most interesting information about her spread, which, that caught my interest myself. So let's get into it. Basic attack, who gives a fuck? Skill, summons Memo Sprite, Summer Songbirds, Bessie. If Summer Songbirds is already on the field, restores its HP by an amount equal to 100% of Summer Songbird's max HP and gains 6 vibes. See, we're already seeing some Cassie synergy here. A Memo Sprite who can now heal itself. Easy HP stacking for Cassie's Dragon. There might be more synergy than we originally thought, right? Also, a bit of a max HP damage there. Ultimate advances the action of one ally, excluding Robin, by 100% and regenerates a fixed amount of energy equal to 20% of their max. Then this character gains the special guest effect. After the character with special guest attacks, Robin will additionally gain 1 point of vibes. This character and her Memo Sprite cannot advance the actions of other targets. This effect will last for 2 turns, and its duration decreases by 1 at the start of each Robin turn. Right. So, this ult is not bad. This ult, an action advance on the ultimate, and regenerates 20% of their max energy. It's pretty general. Like, it's really general here. Just as expected. Now, I will say, maybe I was a bit coat maxing, but I was kind of imagining that she would have like a different tally for action advancing different allies on the field, right? Like, let's say Ceredra stacks, but applied to everybody on the team, and each teammate has to have their own attack frequency hit, let's say, like 3 or 4 times before they're able to get a free action advance. But I'm assuming they're a little too scared of the infinite ult loops happening currently, which, I mean, is that really surprising? Absolutely not. So this does seem a bit more toned down and quite a bit more realistic, right? So let's move on from that ultimate. It's actually quite simple to understand, and move on to the talent. The Memo Sprite Summer Songbirds has an initial max HP equal to 70% of Robin's max HP, and an initial speed equal to 180% of Robin's speed. When an ally target attacks, or when they provide healing or shielding for the first time in any target's turn, Robin will gain 1 vibe, and her vibes can max out at 50. While Summer Songbirds Bessie is on the field, if Robin's vibes is 6 or more, immediately summon the Songbird Drummy. And if vibes is 12 or more, immediately summon the Songbird Patty. When all songbirds take the stage, dispel all CC debuffs that Robin and the songbirds are under, and enter the fever state, deploying a zone. When ally targets deal damage inside of this zone, they ignore 15% of enemy defense plus vibes x 0.5% of enemy defense. So a base 15% and then an increasing 0.5% per vibe that you have. And if you see over here, it capped out at 50, meaning you can get this to 25 additional defense ignore, totaling 40%. That's actually a pretty strong defense down, buff, right? While in the fever state, Robin and the birds are immune to CC debuffs, and Robin will not enter her turns or take action until the fever state ends. So you get to see a little more of how the vibes work, how it is you're able to stack them with, allies attacking, getting shielded, doing healing, yada yada yada. You get to see in which order the birds are actually summoned, and how this all kind of, helps you with this defense down debuff. And I'm assuming this is going to be her main debuffing capability, which isn't bad, right? There's a lot of teams in this game that have high defense shred, like Anaxa, like Himeko. Himeko is actually an amazing current pick these days. Mono Rem also tends to have a bit of defense shred as well because of Everknight's Light Cone, right? And Cassie's own Light Cone. So not bad. Defense shred debuffing is actually quite powerful in this day and age, with how many defense shred debuffers there are, like Emblade, Ashvale, and Welt, right? Next, let's go to the technique. After using technique at the start of the next combat, immediately gain 6 vibes and grant allies a 30% damage boost for 2 turns. Okay, nothing crazy. Memo Sprite skill, 150% max HP multiplier. Really just that simple. Nothing all that crazy. Memo Sprite talent, Fluttering Harmony. While in the fever state, Summer Song Birds and a countdown will appear on the action bar, increasing the damage dealt by Robin and this unit by 60% plus vibes x 2%. So if you have maxed out vibes, that's 160% damage bonus. That's pretty hefty. That's really fucking hefty. Oh my god. Sorry, there was a bit of an interruption there. Had to do a little something, check on a little something, and I'm back. So let's just get straight back into it. When Summer Songbird's turn starts, they use Memo Sprite skill. The countdown has an initial speed of 140. When their turn starts, 50% of the current vibes, a minimum of 12 points, gets deducted. When vibes reach 0, the songbirds disappear, and Robin exits the fever state. While Summer's birds are on the field, increases the damage Ooh, okay. We got vulnerability buffing here as well. I was wondering where the more stronger buffs were going to start happening, because, Emblade exists now, so you really need to make someone have significantly better debuffing capability if you want to compete with him. And that seems to be here a little bit. This is vulnerability buffing. So, increases the damage taken by all enemies by 10%, 15%, 20% respectively, based on the number of members present. So, 20% vulnerability, 40% defense shred with maxed out vibes. Those are pretty strong buffs on top of her sub DPS capability and her ability on ult to regen a bit of energy and even give action advance to an ally. This is looking pretty nice, right? When Summer's birds are summoned, regenerates 20 energy for Robin, and when songbirds disappear, Robin's action advances by 50%. Okay, so here we have the bonus abilities. The first one is when an ally target causes Robin to gain vibes, if their attack is higher than Robin's, increase that target's attack by an amount equal to 16% plus the vibes x 0.4% of Robin's max HP. Otherwise, increase the target's crit damage by 40% plus vibes x 1% lasting for 2 turns. So this is what Seal was talking about yesterday when they were saying that she could both buff attackers and she could also have synergy with max HP scalers. So if you are an attack dealer, obviously you're going to have higher attack than Robin. She's automatically going to detect this. Oh, you actually want attack on your team, and then she's going to start buffing you with attack buffs. However, otherwise, she's going to give you a bunch of crit damage buffs, kind of similar to Evernight, to be honest, if you are most likely, in this case, like a max HP scaler, right? Because, I mean, let's be honest, a break team isn't taking advantage of crit damage. So, yeah. Next is bonus ability 2. When Robin or Summer Songbirds receive healing or shield provided by teammates, they gain 12 stacks of groove. Oh my god. I know this is getting off pace, but Jesus, having to keep up with all these like specifically named mechanics in every single different character is starting to get a little bit doozy for me. They gain 12 stacks of groove, up to a max of 12 stacks. The first time Robin gains vibes each turn, if she has groove, she will consume 1 stack of groove and regenerate a fixed amount of 3 energy. Okay, this was also another thing that was mentioned by Seal by that one tester, that she could passively gain energy from allies just doing stuff, and I guess this is just how it works. When she receives healing or a shield by teammates, she'll gain 12 stacks of groove, and then if she has groove, consumes 1 stack, regenerates a fixed amount of 3 energy, passively gains energy, blah 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 blah, right? Makes it easier to get her ultimate in order to trigger the action advance and blah blah blah. Increases the crit rate of Robin and Songbirds by 50%. This isn't surprising. A majority of these HP scalers usually have a crit rate buff, so that you're incentivized to run HP stats more instead of solely focusing on crit rate. Not bad, not bad. On top of this, I believe, what's it called? She buffs crit damage, right? None of this scales off of her own stuff, though, does it? Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, so this doesn't even play a factor into why that is the way it is. 14 speed, 18% HP, 6% crit rate. Did I miss something? Seal Leak said something about her being a speed buffer. I haven't seen anything about speed buffing here. Or am I like defense shred, ult, basic? This doesn't mention anything about speed. Oh, it's gonna be the E6, isn't it? Oh my god. That's usually what happens. These testers test like E6 of these characters and think it's in the base kit. We'll see though, we'll see. So Robin's E1 is that her max vibes increases by 20. Okay, that's already a pretty noticeable thing, because if you guys will remember, a couple of her buffs actually scale off of the amount of vibes that she has, meaning those now increase a little bit more. So instead of like 40% defense down, this is now more than 50%, which is, I mean, something. The first time an ally target uses a skill that causes Robin to gain vibes each turn, she gains an additional 2 points. Okay. The E2, Summer Songbirds records 100% of the non-true damage dealt by ally targets. When using the Memo Sprite skill, it additionally deals true damage equal to 11% of the total damage plus current vibe stacks x 0.1% to the enemy target with the highest HP, then clears 50% of the recorded value. Okay, I was right. I was completely right. These early leakers are almost always testing the E6 versions of these characters, and then they start talking about their Eidolons as if it's part of their base kit. This was one of the things leaked, was that she had the ability to record the damage dealt by allies and then do it herself, or like she was a Farina who could record the HP loss and then, you know, just like that. But very clearly this is not in her base kit, and this is just an E2 thing, right? So it is what it is. It's behind an E2. There's nothing you can really do about it. It's a pretty decent E2, in all fairness. I knew this was going to happen. I knew she was going to have a good E1 and E2. But, I mean, this is E2 Honkai Star Rail, so I don't know why people are even surprised anymore. E4, upon entering the fever state, immediately gains 12 vibes, and the speed of songbirds increases by 20% plus current vibes x 0.5%. So this is more of just a small personal buff in my opinion. I don't think this is really anything all that crazy. And then her E6, all ally target res pen increases by 20%. Her memo skills damage multiplier increases by 100%. And when entering the fever state, crit damage for Robin and her birds increases by 200%, right? And the last thing to go over after all of this that has been said is her light cone. Oh, okay. So I was slightly wrong. It's not that her speed buffing was in her Eidolons that fooled the, testers. It's behind her light cone. Oh my god, this game is hilarious. Increase the wearer's max HP by 30%. After the wearer uses ult, recover 1 skill point for allies. When entering combat, advance the wearer's action by 40% and grant the wearer new melody for 2 turns. While the wearer has new melody, all ally speed will increase by 20%. For a second, I almost thought I was wrong about them locking a buff behind her Eidolons. But lo and behold, it was actually behind the light cone. Who could have guessed, right? Oh, by the way, the base HP of this light cone is pretty high at 1164. So that is Robin. TLDR, she's able to give action advance and regenerate a bit of energy on her ultimate. She's a sub DPS who scales off of max HP. She also has defense down capabilities that can become even stronger with her earlier Eidolons. She's also able to buff either attack or crit damage depending on the amount of attack that a character on your team has. And on top of this, she's also able to debuff enemies with a 10, 15, or 20% vulnerability depending on the amount of members present on the team. So pretty impressive buffing. It's not necessarily M-Blade level, but it comes quite close. And considering she also has special gimmicks like action advance, energy regen, and all that good stuff, this is a quite good kit and a quite good generalist support who I imagine is now going to be used on a multitude of teams in this game. Welcome to Power Creep Rail. So yeah, that is Robin. I love you all. I'll probably make an Aventurine video either after this or tomorrow. Most likely after this though, since I have nothing better to do. Hope you have a great day. Hope you all have a great night. And peace out.